Welcome to my channel, where I share stories that inspire and uplift. But today, I want to share a story that is personal and painful. It is a story of trauma, loss, and resilience. A story that has driven Funke to seek justice for over a decade. Please don't forget to share, like, and comment your thoughts and observations. Subscribe and hit the notification button for more stories. Sit back and be entertained. Once upon a time, in Nkano village of Enugu, lived Somtochukwu. She was born into a loving family with parents who adored her and a younger brother who looked up to her. Her father was a successful civil servant and her mother a devoted homemaker. They lived in a cozy house in a quiet neighborhood, surrounded by friendly faces and familiar streets. She was a happy child with a quick smile and a curious mind. But fate had other plans. As she grew older, she began to realize that she was different from the other kids. She couldn't see the world around her, not like they could. She was born blind, and her parents had always been careful to protect her from the harsh realities of life. But she was determined to live a full life despite her disability. She learned to adapt, to navigate the world through touch and sound, and she thrived. Her family was her rock, her support system. Her parents encouraged her to pursue her dreams, and her brother looked up to her with wide eyes. They were a happy family, content in their own little world. But on that fateful day, everything changed. Somtochukwu was 9 years old, and life was good. She had learned to navigate her surroundings with ease, using her cane to detect obstacles and her ears to pick up sounds. She attended a special school for the blind, where she excelled in her studies and made friends with others who understood her word. At home, her family was her everything. Her mother helped her with her daily routine, from getting dressed to cooking meals. Her father worked hard to provide for the family, and her brother looked up to her with admiration. They would spend hours playing together, laughing like other siblings. Somtochukwu was a curious child, always asking questions and seeking answers. Her parents encouraged her curiosity, teaching her about the world and its many wonders. She loved to read, devouring books in Braille and imagining the stories in her mind. But despite her happy life, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. A sense of unease settled in the pit of her stomach like a warning sign that she couldn't quite decipher. She pushed it aside, focusing on her schoolwork and her family. Little did she know that the sense of unease was just the beginning. Armed robbers invaded her home, taking everything from her. They killed her family, leaving her alone and adrift. But it was what they did next to her that would haunt her forever. They raped her and her mother. My father's screams still echo in her mind, a desperate attempt to protect them from the monsters that had invaded their lives. The capo's voice still rings in her ear, a cold, calculating tone that sends chills down her spine. Rape their daughter, Mikolo, and I will rape the mother. She was blind, but she knew that she had to find a way to make them pay. For years, she has been searching for the men who destroyed her family. She has been following their voices, the only clue she has to their identities. It's been a long and difficult journey, but she won't rest until she finds them. That fateful day, she came back home from school quite early, as it has been for the past 6 weeks, to assist her mother, who had put to bed. Few minutes after her dad came back from work, someone knocked at the door. Their help went to get the door. She was shot dead instantly after opening the door. Her father, who was having his dinner at the time, got up screaming, "What do you want? Bring those audited documents," the armed robber screamed. She trembled with fear in the bedroom with her mom, whom she was assisting with caring for her little brother. "Stay back here with your brother," her mother said, handing over her baby brother to her. She went back to the parlor, tying a wrapper that barely covered her chest as she was breastfeeding her brother. "Bring the documents," they continued screaming at her father. Her father went to his briefcase, which was still in the parlor, and was about handing the documents when her mom entered the parlor. She followed her mom immediately, keeping her brother carefully in his pram. Look what we have here," the leader exclaimed. "Beautiful ladies to enjoy before our exit. Mikolo, enjoy the daughter because she's your size, while I go for the bigger meat. Ask, when I finish, you enjoy the big fish too." "No, please, don't do this," her father pleaded. "She's blind, Capo, and this is not part of the plan," Mikolo responded. "Rape her, or I end you," Capo commanded, pointing the gun at him. As she struggled with Mikolo, he was apologizing as he made his way through her virginity. Her father's screaming seemed not to be heard as the robbers pounced on her and her mother. Her father quickly took one of the guns Mikolo had carelessly left on the table and shot the one who was waiting for the boss to have his turn on her mother. He also succeeded in shooting Mikolo on his back thigh. The leader, getting scared and furious, shot her dad instantly, shot her on the head, and left her mom in coma. Meanwhile, nobody heard the voice of her baby during the ordeal. Imagine being a blind girl at such incident with her age. She was bleeding profusely, asking God to help and save her. Some minutes later, she could hear voices. "Let's take them to the hospital." "Damn," she said to herself, hoping we all survive the incredible incident. All she could barely say was, "Ikem is in the room." She underwent series of unsuccessful surgeries, with her mother still in coma. Her baby brother became very sick and pale because of not being fed well, as he was already used to exclusive breastfeeding. The doctor, Mrs. Ademola Adelaide, being married for 12 years without a child, vowed to get her and her brother alive. The couple single-handedly sponsored her medications to India, which was successful to the glory of God. As she came back from the hospital, she was told her baby brother had passed away. Watching her family slip away, she became traumatized and worried about what would become of her if her mother goes again. She moved into the doctor's home and they became her only family. Still blind, she normally visits her mother in the hospital. After a year and some months, she started a new school, better than her previous school. The doctor and her husband took her like the child they never had. They made sure she lacks nothing. After about 2 years of no improvement from her mother, as she was coming out and in of coma, her foster parents suggested she let her mother rest in peace. They also suggested that her mother's eyes would be used to replace hers, as she would be able to see again. She was mixed with feelings of joy that finally she would see, and sad that her parents were not alive to see her. She went to pay her mother the last visit before undergoing the eyes transplant. "Mother," she said, "you and father have been my pillar and eyes before the robbers took off my happy family. The doctor said I should let you rest in peace, mother, but I will not let you rest in peace completely, because she said I will be getting your eyes, which will continue to guide me and help me see those people that destroyed our home. I promise you, mother, that justice must be served." "We are your daughter's new parents," Mr. Adelaide said, holding Somto and consoling her. "I promise to nurture her like my child." He promised. Somto Chukwu requested from her foster parents to see her mother's face before she would be buried, which they accepted. She underwent another surgery. To the glory of God, was a success. She paid her mother and her family their last respect. The only things she held tightly about her family was her parents' diary, family picture, which they took at her brother's naming ceremony, and her parents' work ID cards. She decided to embrace her new family and her new tribe. She changed her name from Somtochukwu to Olufunke, as her new parents suggested. Years passed, still focused and undeterred about her search. She graduated as a doctor and did her master's in surgical science, as her parents suggested, so as to take over the family's hospital. She continued to follow every lead, every tips that might bring her close to the men who had raped her and killed her family. She worked with the police, with detectives who were determined to solve the case. And then, one day, they got a break. A witness came forward, someone who had seen the men who had committed the crime. She was hopeful. She was excited. She thought that finally they might have a chance to bring them justice. Will Funke find the men who murdered her family? Will the witness lead them to the people behind her trauma? Or is the witness an impersonator? Please share your questions and comments in the section below. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and family. And if you want to see more of inspiring stories like this one, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.